Hello. Well, before I start this awesome episode you're about to watch, I just like to say, since it's the holidays are among us, I just want to say, I think Hanukkah happened already, so sadly I can't say Happy Hanukkah, I don't think. But anyway, you have a Merry Christmas and a joyous Kwanzaa to all you fans out there that celebrate that kind of stuff. And I suppose and be safe and happy. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you get everything you asked for. I don't know much about Kwanzaa, so I can't really say anything about that, but I hope that is also an enjoyable holiday. And if there's a present, in that involves presents, I hope you get good stuff there. But who am I to know? But anyway, thank you so much, and that's it. And again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, joyous Kwanzaa, and enjoy the show. Cowabunga! The turtles are back! And this time, so is Shredder. And oh no! He shrank in the island of Manhattan. Well, it's time for the turtles to spring into action. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist for the Genesis, today on Power Up. Oh, hello once again. Welcome to the show. In today's episode, I'm going to do a Genesis game. In this game, well, anyway, before I get to that, back I think last year or so, I did the SNES brawler classic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. I thought that was pretty cool, and I enjoyed that immensely. Well, since I had a Genesis, I did not have a Genesis back when I was growing up. I did not know that after that, Sega and Konami teamed up and made a Turtles installment for the Genesis. And that's what I'll be reviewing today. The game known as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist. It was a very fun game, and it actually reuses, to me, I've seen a lot of the art assets that were used in the SNES game. They kind of show up in the Hyperstone Heist, but it's mostly in a different way. Well, without further ado, let's go back and try to defeat Shredder and Krang once again. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist came out in 1992 in North America, or the United States. In it, the Shredder has shrunken the island of Manhattan using the Hyperstone. And so the Turtles have to fight him and bring Manhattan back to its normal size. Most of these stages, I've noticed, or their art assets, were taken a lot from the arcade game Turtles in Time, as well as, to me, the SNES game Turtles in Time. And I think that they might have taken some assets from the first arcade game. But anyway, the controls are similar. You can still do the bang enemies over your, I forget what the move is called, but bashing enemies from side to side is still there. And the dash is still there, although now it's assigned to a button. And also, because I think the Genesis wasn't that powerful enough, you cannot throw enemies towards the screen. Even though I was quite sad that I couldn't do that, but it still is a lot of fun nonetheless. Also, there isn't as much levels as the other games before it. I think for example, Turtles in Time for the SNES had about 10 levels to go through. In this game, there are only 5. New York City, a mysterious ghost ship, Shredder's hideout, the Gauntlet, and the final Shell Shock. And actually, in the Gauntlet level, you are basically playing through all of the bosses that you have previously have fought. But though, they shouldn't be too much trouble, because all the bosses do have patterns, and if you know what the pattern is, they become a cakewalk after that. So that's pretty cool. From personal experience, I really didn't have this game growing up. I had a Super Nintendo, but my uncle had a Genesis. And I grew up playing the arcade installment of Turtles in Time, they port on the Super Nintendo, which I enjoyed immensely. Although I really enjoyed the Hyperstone Heist as well, even though it doesn't have the toss the guys into the screen, everything else came over from that game, and it's really fun. And I do know it is a little bit harder, and also you don't get as much lives, but if you be careful about it, you can make it through pretty quickly. And also you can choose instead, unlike Turtles in Time, where your number of continues was dependent on what the difficulty level was. In this game, any difficulty level you can choose any number of continues, which helps out immensely. But though, this game was very fun, and I really like it. And I was happy thankfully I was able to pick up a copy. Not from my uncle, of course. I found it at my neighborhood game store, which is Level Up Game, which is fun. But all in all, this is a really enjoyable game, and you shouldn't, and it's much funner playing with a friend, or a family member, or whatever. Even though, and I do think the voices, because of the Genesis chip, they're a little bit more garbled, but they do the job, and they do alright. But I do like this effort on the Genesis. And it's kind of funny, because they use, I remember going through before the Ghost Ship level, surfing on the surfboard, or whatever. Basically, they use the music, they use the sound cues from the sewer surfing from the Turtles in Time game. And I've noticed the pizzas in that level don't really give you health, like in the SNES sewer surfing, and in the Neon Knight Riders one, bonus stages, those pizzas give you points and health regeneration. They give you your health back. In this one, they just give you points, which makes it a little bit more trickier which makes that level a little bit more harder per se. But it was quite fun nonetheless. And also in this game, there are also, depending on they're just like Turtles in Time, the harder the difficulty, the better ending you'll get. Every ending, they add, I know when you feed it on easy, you get a decent ending. But as you keep going up to normal and hard, you'll get a better and better ending added. You get the stuff added onto that ending, which is cool. So which gives you incentive to replay over and over again. And of course, I think I might not have mentioned this or not, but the enemies were a little bit harder as well. So again, which is good for the extra added continues. But anyway, I thought, I'm starting to give, I don't have much of a rating scale, more of a recommendation scale. And to me, my recommendation is very highly recommended. If you see this, please give it a shot. And if you're a retro gamer like me, please do. It's a really enjoyable beat 'em up for the Genesis. So pick it up and take down Shredder and Krang and have a Cowabunga good time. And as usual, before we go, if you live in or around South St. Paul, Minnesota, please visit my good friends at Level Up Games. Besides games, they also have magic cards, hero clicks, stuff, and also as well as magic tournaments, and also collectible card games and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, and their address is below, if it isn't already, as well as their website. And also, seeing us on YouTube, please rate and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also, I have a Twitter feed, and a Facebook fan and group page, and those are down below as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for another episode. Power Up.